Jenkins, I heard you were protesting this morning.
Yes, that's right.
Well, I'm glad that's over with. You people were making me think too much.
Look, Cramwood, you're building another Planet Cramwood Cafe, and we just don't need another one in this town. We already have two.
But this one will be different. Take a look at this!
Cramwood, we need a park with trees and birds so people can enjoy a little bit of nature.
Well, there's going to be a park on the 5th floor. Look, Jenkins, I'm just glad you're done protesting. Work stoppages cost me a lot of money!
You know, we're not done protesting, Cramwood. We'll be back tomorrow morning. I just came back to look for my wallet. I think I dropped it.
Hey, it's Doug Savage, Science Court Attorney!
Is the new Planet Cramwood Cafe open yet? I'm hungry.
Not yet. Construction has just started. It won't be ready for another year.
But I only have an hour for lunch.
Yeah, you'll be waiting even longer if I have any say in it.
Are you the cook?
No, I'm Jack Jenkins.
Oh, that's right. So how's construction going, Cramwood?
Kind of slow. You see, Jenkins was protesting it early this morning.
How come?
Well, because we don't need another gaudy, overpriced theme restaurant.
No, I mean, how come in the morning? Weren't you tired?
No, I got a good night's sleep.
What are you doing now?
Oh, looking for my wallet. I dropped it around here somewhere.
Hey, is this it?
Wow, cool wallet.
Oh my gosh, let me see that.
Wait a minute. How do I know this is really your wallet?
Hey, that's not a wallet. It's a... Oh my gosh, I think it's a fossil.
A fossil? I found a fossil? Wow!
What's going on?
I found a fossil, a real live fossil.
What?
Yeah, fossils aren't alive.
Well, you know what I mean.
Are you sure it's a fossil?
Lady, I wouldn't know the difference between a fossil and a fiddle.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's a fossil, and I do know the difference. Paleontology is a hobby of mine.
What's that?
Well, paleontology is the study of prehistoric animal and plant life through the analysis of fossils. And that's what I think this is, a dinosaur fossil.
Oh!
So, what's the significance of finding this bone?
Well, it's not really a bone.
Really?
No, but it still could be the most important discovery in the history of this town. This could put us on the map.
A new Planet Cramwood Cafe would put us on the map, too!
You have to halt construction, Cramwood.
Huh?
What? We have to be very careful with these fossil sites. There could be more fossils.
Oh, all right. Oh, boy, this is going to cost me a lot of money!
Well, I gotta get home and examine this fossil more closely. This is great. I'll see ya.
Boy, he seems pretty happy for a guy who lost his wallet.
Wait a minute! He didn't lose his wallet!
He didn't?
No! He was pretending! I bet he planted that bone this morning! The wallet was just an excuse to get us to look through the dirt and find the fossil!
I feel so used.
That's a pretty serious accusation, Mr. Cramwood.
But I heard Jenkins tell you that the bone was not real!
Really?
Yeah, he said it wasn't actually a bone.
Cramwood, I believe that Jack Jenkins planted a fake bone because he thinks it will stop construction of the new Planet Cramwood Cafe.
What am I going to do?
We'll take Jack Jenkins to Science Court and prove that he planted a fake fossil. Cramwood, I'll get this project up and running, even if it means spending every penny you have.
Mr. Jenkins, you're being charged with a 237, and that's a very serious charge.
Ms. Kremple, a 237 is a failure to pick up after your dog.
Right. I meant a 732.
A 732 is illegally keeping an elephant as a pet.
It is?
Mr. Jenkins, you're being charged with planting a phony fossil.
But I didn't put that fossil there. I'm not even the one who found it. Can you two help me? Can you take my case?
Mr. Jenkins, we'd be glad to help you.
Hi, Judge Stone.
Good morning, Stenographer Fred. What are you reading?
It's a book about dinosaurs. I'm trying to memorize some names for the trial.
Ooh, a little homework.
Yeah. Can you test me on them?
Okay. What's this one here?
Brontosaurus.
That guy right there.
Dromaeosaurus.
Very good. How about that one?
Could you give me a hint?
Okay.
Turn around, there's a dinosaur behind me.
Fred.
Wow.
I was trying to get you to say Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Tyrannosaurus Rex, that's what I was gonna say.
Hey, Doug,
Yeah?
do you have something on your tie?
Where? What?
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Science Court, where science is the law and scientific thinking rules. I'm Jen Bettis reporting, and today we have the fascinating case of the found fossil. Is it a fake? We'll find out. Here comes Judge Stone.
All rise for the Honorable Judge Stone. All be seated.
Thank you, Fred. Well, after reviewing the situation, I have ordered that construction of the Planet Cramwood Cafe be halted, at least until this whole fossil thing is cleared up.
But that could take years!
No, about a half an hour. Science Court works a little faster than regular courts. So, let's go to opening statements. Mr. Savage, will you do the honors?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, my client is a famous movie star, and all he wants to do is build another one of his famous theme restaurants that everybody loves.
I don't love them.
Oh, I think they're great.
You're kidding.
No, I really do. They have good food, and I always have a really fun time when I'm there.
Thank you, Your Honor!
But I'm not so sure we need another one.
Oh.
But that's not what this case is about, is it, Mr. Savage? Continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. We will prove that in an effort to stop construction of the new Planet Cramwood Cafe, Jack Jenkins planted a phony fossil.
Ooh, that's a 203.
Don't you mean a 503?
I thought it was a 307.
We'll look it up later.
Anyway, we ask that, if found guilty, this court punish Mr. Jenkins to the fullest extent of the law.
You mean?
Exactly. Since Mr. Jenkins likes looking through dirt so much, we ask that the court sentence him to 1 million hours of cleanup duty at the new Planet Cramwood Cafe.
A million hours?
Thank you.
Okay, let's hear from Ms. Krempel.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, a piece of history was discovered at the Planet Cramwood Cafe construction site.
Thank you!
I'm talking about the fossil.
Right!
My client did not plant a fake fossil in order to stop construction, and will prove it.
That's your opening statement? Ouch.
Mr. Savage, please, just call your first witness.
Sure. I call Dr. Julie Bean to the stand. Dr. Bean, will you please have a look at this alleged fossil?
Sure. Well, I've seen fossils like this before, and it appears to be the bone of a dinosaur. Ooh. Possibly of the Compsognathus variety, a meat eater.
I bet they'd love to eat a cramburger!
What's a cramburger?
It's a thick, flame-broiled beef patty slathered in onion and farm-fresh mushrooms that America loves even more with a heaping helping of cram fries.
I love judges!
Go ahead, Mr. Savage.
Thank you, Your Honor. Dr. Bean, can you tell us what bones are made of?
Bones are made of cells and lots of calcium.
Calcium?
It's an element that is a basic component of most animals.
And so, what is this thing made of?
Well, it seems to be some sort of rock.
Rock? As in stone?
Yes.
Are you telling us then that dinosaurs were nothing more than big boulders?
No, of course not.
This is not a dinosaur's bone, is it?
Well, no. It's a good replica of a bone, right down to the cells. A very good replica.
So it's a copy.
Basically, yes.
So it's not a bone. Thank you. No more questions. This case is over.
You don't mind me asking a few questions, do you, Mr. Savage?
Ask me anything you like.
I meant Dr. Bean.
Oh.
Wait, Your Honor, I'm confused. Is a fossil a bone or a rock?
A fossil is a bone that gets trapped in a rock.
Not quite, Mr. Savage.
Huh?
Your Honor, I'm still confused.
I know. But before we hear the answer, I suggest we take a break and then finish the trial at the construction site.
Is that necessary, Your Honor?
No, but it'll be fun.
Wow, we're going to the construction site. On the way, let's hear from you, our courtside commentators. What do you think? Is a fossil a bone or a rock?
All rise for the Honorable Judge Stone. That means you too. All be seated.
Thank you, Fred. Oh, excuse me. Cramwood, my compliments to the chef.
Thank you!
Now I think what we need is a definition. What is a fossil?
We're going to get to that, Your Honor.
Good enough. Excuse me.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. Go ahead, Miss Crimple.
Okay. Dr. Bean, does it surprise you that this fossil is made of rock?
No,
Why not?
because most fossils are not real bones. They are replicas of bones. Can I show a quick film to help explain this?
Hey, am I in it?
No.
Oh.
Fossils are the remains of something that lived a long, long time ago. Any living organism can become a fossil, and there are many different kinds of fossils. Now, petrification is probably the type of fossil that most people think of when they think of a fossil. This occurs when the original bone is replaced by the minerals in the water that seep through the rock. The bone is then said to have been petrified or turned to stone. Petrified bones keep their original structure because the minerals in the seeping water have replaced the bone bit by tiny bit.
Objection!
What is it, Mr. Savage?
Well, Your Honor, I expected Miss Crimple to pull a fast one like this.
You mean using scientific definitions?
Yes. No.
What's the problem?
Well, it so happens I came to this very construction site this morning to think and to pretend to drive the backhoe. But instead, I found something very interesting buried in the sand.
Another fossil?
No, Jack Jenkins' wallet. Hey, my wallet! But is it yours, Mr. Jenkins? Are you sure? Or is it a replica?
No, this is mine. It's got my money still in it and everything.
So it hasn't been petrified? Sand and minerals did not go into your wallet and make an exact replica?
No.
This whole fossil thing is a farce.
Mr. Savage, fossils take thousands and even millions of years to form.
They do?
Yes.
How long was your wallet buried?
2 days.
Oh, well,
Hey, can we get back to the movie?
Yes, but this is a courtroom, Mr. Paper Cup Dropper. We don't just demand verbally. We have to go through channels. It's a bureaucracy. There's a way to do it. Roll the film, please.
Okay, now I want to explain about the conditions for making a fossil. A very important requirement for fossilization is that the organism, plant or animal, be covered in sediment.
What do you mean when you say sediment?
Sediment is matter that is deposited by water or wind, like sand, for example.
Oh, well, what do I mean when I say sediment?
Same thing.
Oh, okay.
So it's essential that the organism be covered in sediment as soon as possible, before animals or the natural process of decay destroys them.
So, Mr. Savage, are you satisfied?
the only thing this proves, Ms. Crimple, is that this is a fossil.
Right.
But Jack Jenkins still could have put it here. I mean, this doesn't really look like the kind of place where a lot of dinosaurs were hanging out. Now, if there was a Planet Cranwood Cafe, then maybe they would have,
Mr. Savage.
I'm just saying, Your Honor, that these are not the right conditions for fossilization. There's no water here, and the view is terrible.
Could Doug be right? This spot doesn't look to me like a place where dinosaurs would want to live or where fossils would be formed. Courtside commentators, what do you think? Should we expect to find other fossils here?
Your Honor, I'd like to call Professor Parsons to the stand, please, to straighten this out.
Well, why don't you?
Hello down there. Get a load of me. You look like a bunch of ants from up here. Hey, those are ants. Shoo, little guys, get out of here. It's a courtroom, not an ant farm. Whoa, fellas, hold on a sec. Ants are stuck. Whoa, slow it down. All right, that's better.
Professor, what are the chances of finding another fossil in all this dirt?
Well, unfortunately, this equipment could have already destroyed some very valuable fossils. There's no way of knowing that. But usually there will be some other fossils in the area. You just have to look. There's a lot of sedimentary rock here, and that's a key place for fossils. And at one time, the river over there, that is now 50 feet away, ran much higher and covered this area right here.
So,
animals and plants that were buried in the sand at the bottom of lakes and rivers generally make good fossils because of the speed with which they were buried.
but the river's over there. That's where the fossils should be.
Well, the river is over there now, sir, but at one time it was right here. Over time, it has changed position, so now more land is exposed. That, along with regular erosion, can start to bring fossils closer to the surface.
So even though this doesn't look like a good place to make fossils now, it was a good place a long time ago?
Correct, that's what I said. I know what I'm talking about.
All right, so maybe there are fossils here. Maybe. But there's still just a bunch of old rocks. I mean, what can we possibly learn from a fossil such as this one?
Well, not much.
What?
I'm kidding! Fossils can tell us a great deal.
Well, can they tell us the color of the dinosaur's skin?
Well, not really. You see, soft tissue like skin or muscle doesn't make good fossils because it decays too quickly.
What about hair?
Well, not,
Tongue? Heart? Brain?
Again, Mr. Savage, these are soft tissues.
Yes, I know, and they decay quickly and don't fossilize very well. So let me ask you this, Professor.
Excuse me, Mr. Savage. May I question my own witness?
I'm almost done.
Mr. Savage, this is Miss Quemple's witness.
Your Honor, I only want to know if Professor Parsons thinks that we should stop construction just so he can find a few fossils that aren't going to tell us much of anything anyway.
Objection, Your Honor.
Too late, I already asked the question.
Guy's a mess.
Okay, that's enough. Order, order. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, Professor, I'd like to hear your response.
Great, because I'd love to give it.
Court is recessed.
Wow! What can we possibly learn from a fossil? Courtside commentators, let's hear your thoughts.
Okay, we're back, so everybody back for the session because we're back.
Okay, where were we?
Your Honor, after conferring with my client...
I like that, conferring with my client. We should confer.
Huh?
Anyway, I've decided to allow Mr. Savage to question Professor Parsons at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Crimple. Awfully nice of you. So, Professor, the question I put to you is this. Why should we stop construction if we're not going to learn anything from these fossils?
And my answer to you, Mr. Savage, is this. I never said we can't learn anything from a fossil. In fact, the exact opposite is true.
They can learn from us?
No, I mean, we can learn a tremendous amount of information from fossils. There are thousands of clues that a good paleontologist can pick up from fossils.
I'll take over from here, Mr. Savage, if you don't mind.
No, be my guest. Because I'm going to be busy conferring. Anyway, with my client, because we haven't conferred.
Fine. Professor Parsons, what can a fossilized bone tell us about a dinosaur?
Well, if you find a baby dinosaur fossilized in a nest of many babies and their teeth are worn from chewing, it shows that their mother cared for them by bringing food back to the nest.
So just from a little bone wear, you have a clue about how some dinosaurs cared for their young?
Yes, that's correct.
That's amazing.
I know it is. And there's more. It gets even more amazing. For example, finding spots on bones where tendons were attached can help you make a good guess as to the size and shape of the muscle that sits on the bone. So you start to build a picture of what the whole animal looked like.
That's amazing. What else?
Well, let's see. The size and shape of the skull gives you an idea about the brain size, which tells you something about their intelligence.
Wow.
Professor, are you serious?
Oh, absolutely, sir. In fact, a fossil of the brain cavity from a triceratops was found, and not only is it large by reptile standards, it is also quite complicated in structure, which indicates that these animals were not, shall we say, unintelligent.
In other words, Professor, fossils can tell us a great deal about plants and animals of long ago?
Oh, of course. Everything we know about prehistoric creatures is because of fossils. They couldn't leave us any diaries or videotapes, so they just left themselves.
Thank you, Professor Parsons. That was wonderful. Fossils really are fascinating.
Well, you're welcome. I'd like to think I had a little something to do with the presentation.
I'm ready for closing arguments, Your Honor.
I'd like to think my approach was colorful and helped make the topic a little more interesting.
Thank you.
Sometimes can be a little... All right, I better go.
Mr. Savage, are you ready for closing arguments?
I'm ready, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, maybe fossils aren't always real bones, and maybe we can learn a lot from them, and yada, yada, yada. Studying dinosaurs is fine. If you want to study animals, they couldn't hack it. I mean, folks, no offense to dinosaurs, but they were losers. They hung around for a couple of years, and then they messed up. Extincto.
Excuse me, Doug. Dinosaurs lived for 160 million years. Humans have only been around for a few million.
Dinosaurs lived for 160 million years? 160 million? Well, that's how long this new Planet Cranwood Cafe will be around if you find Jack Jenkins guilty. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Savage. Your logic is scary. Miss Crimple, go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, my client was down here protesting the building of this cafe because he wants to preserve a little bit of our natural environment. And as luck would have it, a fossil was found. Jack Jenkins didn't put it there, but I know who did.
Who?
A dinosaur.
Oh, she's being cute.
A dinosaur put it there unknowingly, but put it there nonetheless, to help tell us something about him and his relatives and about what it was like to live 65 million years ago. He says a fossil is just an old bone. Don't forget that they can turn to stone. He's gonna tell you not much can be known, but the court has already shown these remains of an ancient world are all we have today. The first pieces in the puzzle of life must not be swept away.
Let's do the bump. Now touch the feet and to the side.
Oh, very nice, jury.
Hey, what about us?
You were good too. Now, jury, go and deliberate the fate of Jack Jenkins, guilty or not guilty. Science court will recess until the jury reaches a verdict.
The jury has just gone into deliberations. I wonder what they will decide. Let's hear your opinions, courtside commentators. Here comes the jury with their verdict. Let's get back to the trial to hear what it is.
Hey, the jury reached a verdict.
Okay, jury, what is the verdict?
We, the jury, find the defendant, Jack Jenkins, not guilty of a 789, planting a phony fossil.
Great. Good job, jury.
But what about my new restaurant?
Well, we also recommend that this area be used as an excavation site and that construction be halted indefinitely.
Indefinitely? Indefinitely? What does that mean?
It means until there are no more fossils found in this area.
Okay, so science court.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. One more thing, right?
right. We strongly suggest that Cramwood not build another restaurant here. We like his restaurants, we just don't need another one.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Great. Science court is adjourned.
Judge Stone, I can name some more dinosaurs.
Okay.
Brachiosaurus, Styracosaurus, Lithaniasaurus.
I think I've heard of those, Fred, but you might want to double check. Fred, I've come to love you very, very much.
Yeah.